One battle after another was released last month in September, and I have to say the biggest disappointment I have in regards to this film is that I waited so long to see it. I just saw this film this past weekend. Now, part of the reason it took me so long to see it is because the movie clocks in at 2 hours and 42 minutes, so it was difficult to carve out that amount of time, but I'm going to tell you, it does not feel at all like a nearly 3-hour movie. I felt like there was still another half hour worth of movie that I was willing to sit through to get resolution on even the most secondary of characters in this film. And speaking of characters, this movie has an amazing cast. Leonardo DiCaprio, who I want to put up there as, if he's in a movie, there's a good chance I'm going to go see it just for his name being in it. I would say that about Denzel Washington and Tom Cruise. Other actors in this film, Sean Penn, Teyana Taylor, who was robbed of an opportunity to display truly how talented she is when she appeared in Tyler Perry's ridiculous Netflix movie Straw. I'm glad to see that she had a chance to show off her acting chops. You got Benicio Del Toro, Regina King, and the relatively new Chase Infiniti, who hails from my hometown of Indianapolis. Go Colts. Now, I have to admit, I thought for sure she was the same actress who starred in the Marvel Netflix show Falcon and the Winter Soldier a few years ago. But no, that was Erin Kellyman, my mistake. There's not a bad performance in this movie whatsoever. Every performance seems real. Every performance brings each character to life. The movie starts off a little slow as they establish DiCaprio and Taylor becoming lovers while being part of a radical left-wing revolutionary group called the French 75, who in the beginning of the film, they set out to free some detained Hispanic immigrants from an outdoor prison. We're also introduced to Sean Penn's sadistic Colonel Lockjaw, who is graphically humiliated in that first scene in a sexual manner by Teyana Taylor's character, whose name is Perfidio Beverly Hills. So you got a character named that, you know you're in for a good ride, right? And that scene between Teyana and Sean Penn, it kind of sets the two of them on a course that drives a major part of the plot. I'm not going to say too much about this film in terms of the plot, but because I think the less you know, the more entertained you'll be, even if I don't give away spoilers. So once the movie gets going, like I said, it's kind of slow at the beginning, but once it gets going, it kicks into high gear. The movie is amazing in how it weaves comedy, tension, suspense, and a little bit of terror as it goes along. Particularly terror if you are a parent. Particularly terror if you're a parent of a young girl or a young lady. But to give you an idea of the pacing of this film, once it gets into the second act, if you recall the classic movie Goodfellas, right? Remember the sequence where Ray Liotta's character, Henry Hill, he spends the day preparing dinner at the house. He's got to run all these errands throughout Long Island, drop off some guns to Jimmy Conway, and then he has to prepare his nanny for a drug run. Well, if you remember that, the intensity and pacing of that scene is pretty much the entire second and third act of this film. I mean, it grabs you, it tenses you up, and it does not let go. The story is like a potpourri of all the shit we're dealing with in our country today. Lack of due process, separation of families in cages, institutionalized white supremacy within the upper echelons of society, the extremes of both the far right and the far left. It's as if P.T. Anderson, the director of this movie, just incorporates all the crap that we've had to deal with for the last 9 months and made them the basis for this story. Now, it is based on a novel. I don't remember the name of the novel, but this is not an original screenplay. It is based on a novel, but it's one of those, just like The Long Walk. I might have to read this book because this film is made so well. It's made me interested to see the source, to read the source material. There are moments when the cinematography is absolutely stunning. There's one scene in particular that involves a car chase in the desert mountains where the positioning of the camera turns the road, which is kind of hilly, it literally turns it into a roller coaster. And that conceit, the way they shot that, it is a perfect setup for a heart-stopping moment, which I'm not going to say anything about. Now, like I said, I'm not going to say much about the actual story, but I will say the trailers set this up as simply a kidnapping of DiCaprio's daughter, played by Chase Infiniti, but it's far more than that. It gets into the sinister underbelly of this country. And I don't think it's that far off. I think this movie exposes some things that we're not prepared to deal with or we don't want to deal with in this country. It's frankly a shame that this movie is being projected to lose $100 million for Warner Brothers, because it is a fantastic film which gets better with each act. I'm going to give this movie 4 out of 5 reels. Only 3 movies in 2025 so far that have gotten 4 reels from me, the other 2 being The Fantastic Four and Sinners. Go check this movie out. If you're tired of superheroes, you're tired of reboots and remakes, and you want to see something that feels fresh, kind of like a Sinners, I mean, it has nothing to do with that theme, right? But it just has that, I'm seeing something different right now from a visionary director. Go check this film out. All right, guys, that's all I got for this review. Do me a favor, as always, hit that subscribe button, like this video, share it with your friends, and by all means, go check it out. Come back, tell me what you think, and until the next review, take care, guys. That's the Martini.